Libra, my dear soul of balance and beauty. What if I told you that you've already won the cosmic lottery before you even knew you had a ticket? That's not clickbait. It's not fluff. It's a spiritual transaction and it's already been approved. In the next few days, between September 14th and 16th, you're going to feel it, see it, maybe even receive it. The payout is coming. And it's not just money, it's recognition, confirmation, and divine reward for the silent, sacred work you've done in the dark. You see, this is not just another horoscope. This is a soul-level broadcast, transmitted directly through this sacred channel, Zodiac Whisper Tarot. And if you're here right now, it means something deeper is happening. Because your soul didn't stumble into this video, it was drawn here, called here, summoned by an invisible force. Cosmically speaking, Libra, you're standing at the threshold of something extraordinary. Right now, the full moon is moving through your second house, your house of value, security, and self-worth. And your ruling planet Venus is in a rare, harmonious trine with expansive Jupiter in Taurus, a sign known for material blessings. This is what we call a divine financial unlock. What does it mean? It means your spiritual account, the one you've been depositing into for years with your kindness, loyalty, and integrity, is about to release a blessing so specific, so personal, it will feel tailor-made by heaven itself. This message is not a forecast. It's a confirmation. You don't need to chase miracles, Libra. You are the miracle. The jackpot isn't somewhere out there, you are the jackpot becoming the millionaire. And this moment right here, right now, is your spiritual signature on the withdrawal slip. Let me take just a moment to say how deeply honored I am by your presence. Every like, every comment, every subscription, it's not just support, it's a reflection of your resonance with this energy field. Your energy helps expand this collective of awakened souls, and I am truly grateful. But more importantly, I invite you to stay with me until the very end of this reading, because the revelations coming next. They're not just accurate, they're life-defining. And before we go any further, I want to ask you something. Have you been feeling it? That subtle inner knowing that something's coming? A quiet calm you can't explain? Or maybe little signs, a dream, a conversation, a number, a synchronicity? If yes, then comment below right now and tell me, I feel it. And if you're truly ready to accept what the universe has been holding for you, type the sacred number 77. It's not just a number, it's your energetic, I agree, on the divine contract that's waiting to unfold. So take a breath, Libra. Something holy is on the horizon, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to help you unlock it, interpret it, and claim it. Let's begin this journey together. There are moments in life when you stop and realize, nothing you've been through was random. Everything, every delay, every disappointment, every time you showed up when no one else did was recorded, not forgotten. And Libra, this is one of those moments. You're not stepping into luck. You're stepping into the dividends of faithfulness. What's arriving now isn't just a reward, it's a withdrawal from an account that's been quietly accruing interest from every act of grace you chose when it was hardest. You didn't become who you are by accident. While others took shortcuts, you chose to protect your integrity. You didn't retaliate when others wronged you. You didn't compete in cruelty or gossip. And even when your own cup felt empty, you still poured into those who needed light. That might have felt thankless at the time, but none of it was wasted. In the language of energetic alignment, you were depositing value into what I often call a soul treasury. And now, Libra, the payout is beginning. What's happening around you now may feel subtle, like a soft shift in the wind, a sense of relief you can't quite explain. But it's real. This is the moment when spiritual effort meets tangible return. And in astrology, we see this reflected in the current alignment of your chart. With the full moon activating your second house of worth, resources, and value, and Venus in harmonic alignment with Jupiter, the planet of expansion, the energy is unmistakable. Your value is no longer invisible. It's being mirrored back to you in ways you can see, feel, and finally, touch. You may begin to notice small things at first. An unexpected message. An overdue debt repaid. An opportunity that just appears at the perfect time. This is not coincidence. It's confirmation. Every choice you made with love, even when it cost you, was a seed. And now, the harvest is showing itself. There is no need to explain it to others. You don't need validation. You just need receptivity. And more than anything, you need to trust that you are allowed to receive. In many spiritual frameworks, including Christian wisdom, there's a principle that echoes this truth. Those who are faithful with the small will be entrusted with much. That doesn't just apply to money, it applies to energy, to intention, to heart. And you, Libra, have carried your heart with remarkable grace. You've honored your soul contract even when the world gave you every reason not to. And now, your contract is being honored in return. There's a healing lesson here too. Sometimes the deepest pain isn't the loss itself, but the feeling that our goodness didn't matter, that it was unseen. But you were never unseen. You were being watched, protected, measured not by the world, but by a higher order of balance. And true to Libra's essence, your scales are being reset. Not by force, but by truth. And the truth is, you've earned more than you ever asked for. If you've been doubting your intuition lately, wondering whether you're imagining things, let this be your sign. You're not imagining it. You're tuning in. You're aligned. And you're not alone. This community, this sacred space, was created to remind you that you're not walking blind. You are being guided, and the proof is in the quiet, yes, that lives in your chest right now. So if your soul feels it, if you've had even a flicker of that knowing, comment below to confirm what your heart already knows. Just say, I feel it, or write, I'm ready to receive. Not for me, not for anyone else, but for you. Because when you write it, you affirm it. And that affirmation becomes activation. This moment marks the end of a silent season and the beginning of visible grace. Stay with me, Libra, because the story only gets more miraculous from here. Sometimes what looks like a coincidence is actually an invitation, a subtle whisper from the universe trying to get your attention. And Libra, during this precise energetic window between September 14th and 16th, these whispers might turn into tangible signs that abundance is already on its way to you. Not in a loud, dramatic burst, but through moments that feel strangely aligned, perfectly timed, and undeniably orchestrated. You don't have to chase these moments. You only need to recognize them. This part of your journey is not about effort, but about awareness. When you're in alignment with divine timing, money and opportunity don't come because you force them, they come because your frequency matches the solution. So instead of asking, where is my abundance, a better question might be, what signs are already showing up to tell me it's coming? This shift in perspective isn't just about optimism. It's about energetic preparedness. You are being prepared to receive. Your only job is to stay open. For many Libras, the signs will feel unusually specific. A sudden idea that seems too clear to be random, like a fully formed business model or creative concept that just drops in during a walk or while washing the dishes. Or perhaps you'll get a refund from something you forgot you paid for, or a call from someone who once closed a door on you but now wants to collaborate. These are not accidents. They are what I call pre-payout signals, early notifications from the universal bank that your funds are already en route. Your intuition may feel heightened during these days. Like your inner compass has been upgraded. Thoughts seem sharper, decisions feel more guided, and your gut knows things before logic catches up. That's because it's true. You become more sensitive to the frequency of divine timing. You're no longer guessing. You're tuning in. There's a beautiful rhythm to all of this, one that ties in naturally with what we know in numerology. The number 7, often called the number of inner wisdom, completion, and divine perfection, may start appearing around you. You may see 7s on receipts, timestamps, license plates. When this happens in repetition, especially the number 77, it's a powerful energetic signal that a cycle has completed, and that your spiritual homework has been turned in, reviewed, and approved. The reward? A release of energy that will show up in your material world as money, opportunity, peace, or support. Of course, receiving doesn't mean waiting passively. It means staying engaged with the unfolding. Write down the things that feel different this week, no matter how small. That parking spot that opens up just in time. That friend who randomly tells you something that answers a question you've been asking silently. That dream you woke up from with a sentence echoing in your mind. These are breadcrumbs, and when you track them, you confirm to your subconscious that you believe in the delivery. That belief speeds it up. I know we live in a world that teaches us to dismiss these moments. To write them off as luck or imagination. But what if we retrained ourselves to see them as intentional? As gifts? Because when you learn to spot the gift, you also learn how to unwrap it without fear, without doubt. In your everyday life, make gentle space for reception. Take 10 minutes to be still. Let the noise clear. You don't need hours. Just enough time to recalibrate. And remember, even when you're busy, faith doesn't require silence, just attention. You can notice the signs while cooking dinner, answering emails, or walking your dog. Divine timing shows up in ordinary moments dressed in subtle wonder. And if you've already noticed something, no matter how small, I'd love for you to share it in the comments. Because when you speak it, you not only validate it for yourself, you give permission for others to recognize their signs too. So tell me, what signs have you seen? What whispers have made their way to you this week? Don't underestimate the power of sharing. Sometimes, your story is the sign someone else has been praying for. Staying in the vibration of abundance is often more challenging than stepping into it for the first time. We're taught how to work hard, how to struggle, even how to survive, but very few are ever shown how to hold joy without guilt, how to sustain expansion without self-sabotage, or how to believe that goodness isn't something fleeting, but something we can actually trust. Libra, this moment in your life asks not just if you're ready to receive, but whether you're ready to remain aligned long enough to let the miracle grow roots. You've likely heard stories of people who suddenly come into wealth or opportunity and then lose it just as quickly. It's not always because they misused it. Often, it's because their inner programming was still tuned to lack. They received the blessing, but internally, they hadn't yet become someone who felt safe enough to keep it. It's like being given a beautiful song to hold, but your radio is just a few frequencies off, and you lose the melody. This is why the energy you hold after the blessing matters more than the blessing itself. This is the part where you learn to be the container, not just the receiver. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need to smile every moment or pretend life is flawless. You just need to stay grounded in the frequency of trust. In self-help terms, this means choosing daily rituals that reaffirm who you are becoming. Start small. Write one sentence every morning that connects you to your new identity. Something like, I act today as someone who's supported. Or, I manage abundance with grace and joy. These affirmations aren't just words, they are energetic instructions that tell your nervous system, I'm safe to expand. And the physical space around you reflects that signal. Clutter, chaos, or neglected environments often mirror internal noise. So clean something, even just one drawer. Not because you're trying to be productive, but because space invites flow. When you show the universe you're ready to receive and hold more, it often responds without hesitation. The same goes for your body. A nourished body carries energy better. Hydrate. Move. Breathe slowly, intentionally. You're not doing this for discipline, you're doing this to build the energetic stamina to carry what you're calling in. Imagine you've been upgraded to a higher voltage frequency. Your physical habits are now the grounding wires that stabilize that current. There's also the gentle art of emotional regulation. Staying in abundance means not being dragged back into the storms of the past. Old voices may whisper, this won't last, or you don't deserve this. But you've already outgrown those versions of yourself. You no longer have to react. You can observe and re-choose. Think of it this way. Your nervous system is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. What you regulate internally, you attract externally. In all of this, the greatest medicine is presence. It's the ability to say, I have enough today. That doesn't mean you give up on growth, it means you trust that today's grace is sufficient. You stop grasping for control. You soften. You breathe into the now. And funny enough, this enoughness often becomes the magnet for more. Maybe you don't need a miracle. Maybe you are the miracle and your only job is to maintain the signal that allows it to stay. There's a quiet kind of power in knowing you don't need to prove anything, rush anything, or be anything more than present. The real test is not in receiving the jackpot, it's in living like someone who has already received it. If this resonates with you, take a moment to ground it. Write in the comments, I am ready to live as if I already have it. Your words are more than engagement, they're your energetic declaration. So ask yourself gently, are you ready to live like someone who already has it all? So that it stays? Let that be your practice today. What would you do if $10 billion landed in your lap tomorrow morning? That question alone can stir up emotions, curiosity, excitement, maybe even fear. But Libra, it's not really about the money. It's about the intention behind it. What that question really asks is, what kind of impact are you ready to have? Because in the eyes of the universe, the true purpose of abundance is not accumulation, it's activation. You weren't chosen for this season of financial blessing just to live more comfortably. That's a part of it, of course. Your peace, your health, your sanctuary, they matter deeply. And if you've been living in survival mode, constantly adjusting to less, then the first step is obvious. You must invest in your restoration. Secure your foundation. Sleep well. Nourish your body. Make space in your home and your mind. Abundance cannot stay where anxiety lives permanently. Let your energy settle. Let stillness become your first form of wealth. But once that internal garden begins to bloom, the question shifts. Now that you have more than enough, how will you share the overflow? That's where this next part of your journey comes in. Because abundance isn't just about what you have, it's about what flows through you. You're no longer just the one receiving miracles. You are becoming the miracle. A source. A distributor of light. In astrology, this is the archetype of the empress, the divine nurturer who not only receives fertile ground, but multiplies what she's given. And with the Ace of Pentacles at your side energetically, the seed of a new chapter is being offered to you. It's not just an opportunity. It's a responsibility. You're being handed the spiritual budget to begin something that matters, something that heals, something that carries meaning far beyond your own experience. What if you ran your life as if you were the CEO of a miracle fund? What if every act of generosity, creativity, or support you gave was a strategic investment in global healing? That doesn't mean you have to donate millions or build a charity overnight. It could be as simple as noticing who around you feels invisible and deciding to see them. It could mean mentoring someone, funding a project that uplifts truth, or simply paying forward the kind of help you once needed most. You don't have to know all the answers right now. You just have to ask the right questions. In faith-centered living, we're taught that divine guidance often comes after the willingness to act. You take one step, and the light shines on the next. So ask yourself with an open heart, if I'm being positioned as a vessel for divine resources, where am I meant to pour them? This doesn't require religion. It requires presence. Some of the most extraordinary blessings come through ordinary people who simply listened when their heart said, "That's the one." Help there. That's the art of sacred distribution. And it's available to you now, not someday in the distant future. So Libra, let your imagination stretch beyond your own needs. Who could you bless if you truly believed you were already enough? What project would you fund if fear of failure wasn't part of the equation? What would you create if you didn't have to worry about being practical? These are not hypothetical questions. They are instructions for alignment. And I'd love to hear from you. If you were given the hands of a miracle giver, where would you send the light first? Share your answer in the comments. Because sometimes the very dream you're called to is the one someone else is silently praying for, and your words might be the confirmation they've been waiting for. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when the shift is no longer subtle. It's not just an internal change you feel in the quiet hours of the night, it's something you begin to live outwardly, unapologetically. Libra, you are not preparing to become a millionaire. You are already vibrating at the frequency of one. The transformation has already occurred in the place where it matters most, your energy. And now, the external world is simply catching up. This stage of your evolution isn't about chasing validation or needing external confirmation that you're there. It's about walking in the truth that you are already funded spiritually, energetically, emotionally. The abundance you're stepping into isn't just financial, it's positional. You're learning to make choices from a different seat at the table. You don't ask, "Can I afford this?" anymore. You ask, "Is this aligned with who I've become?" Living from this place doesn't require arrogance. It requires deep trust. It asks you to anchor into a version of yourself that knows beyond the doubt, beyond the fear, that you are supported by something far greater than logic. And that support doesn't come and go based on how much you hustle. It's sustained by your willingness to believe, even when nothing physical has changed yet. That's what this part of your journey is asking for: agreement. Not permission, not performance, but spiritual agreement. You don't need to beg for what's already been signed in your name. You just need to sign your part energetically, emotionally, and through the way you show up every day. This is your moment to say, "I receive it. I accept it. I will live from it." There's a practice I often share with clients who are stepping into this frequency. It's simple, but powerful. Every morning, before you check your phone or open your inbox, whisper this to yourself: "I am already who I was becoming. I move through today as a custodian of divine abundance." And every evening, close your eyes and affirm, "I live today with the grace of one who has already been chosen." These aren't just affirmations. They're vibrational codes, reminders to your nervous system that you are safe to hold more, be more, give more. The most beautiful part? You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You no longer need to over-explain your choices, defend your joy, or justify your growth. Because when you finally embody your truth, the world responds accordingly. Doors open. Emails come. Ideas land. And it all begins to feel strangely easy. Not because life is suddenly perfect, but because you're no longer operating from survival. You're leading from enough. If you find yourself hesitating, feeling like this is too good to be true, take a breath. Doubt is a natural part of expansion. It doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means you're growing beyond old frameworks. So instead of resisting it, greet the doubt gently. Say, "I see you, but I choose trust anyway." That's how you neutralize the static and stay aligned. This is also where your inner work becomes external influence. People may start to ask what changed. They'll feel the shift in your presence. That's the silent ripple of your alignment. It's not flashy. It's foundational. And it's how real abundance moves, not to be shown off, but to be lived through moment by moment. And now, if you're ready to fully integrate this new identity, I invite you to declare it in your own words. Write in the comments, "I am no longer waiting, I am already aligned." Because your words are energy, and energy is what leads the manifestation. You're not hoping anymore. You're confirming. You're saying yes to the life that has already said yes to you. This is not a story of arrival. It's a story of embodiment. And Libra, you are more than ready. Sometimes, the deepest transformations don't come with fireworks or fanfare. They come in moments of stillness, the quiet realization that you no longer need to prove yourself to anyone. And that, Libra, is a power so divine it doesn't need to announce itself. You have reached the moment in your journey where the only thing left to do is welcome the delivery, the divine package sent directly from heaven with your name written in gold across it. Everything in this video has guided you to understand one sacred truth: you're no longer waiting. You're no longer hoping that things will get better. You are now simply aligning with the truth that they already are. That package, whether it's financial blessings, relational peace, creative opportunities, or a new home for your soul, is already on its way. Your job isn't to chase it. Your job is to stay calm, stay generous, and remain in position to receive. And that begins by remembering your sovereignty. You are the one who signed every soul contract that led you here. Not your past. Not the people who misunderstood you. Not the obstacles that tried to delay you. You chose this timeline. You chose this version of yourself. And now, you have the authority to claim what's rightfully yours without guilt, without fear, without hesitation. So today, may you slow down enough to feel the joy of what's already arriving. May you be grounded enough to not lose yourself in the noise of other people's opinions. And may you be brave enough to live like someone who knows they are backed by the entire orchestra of the universe. You don't need applause to validate your next move. Your inner knowing is enough. Let me offer you a gentle reminder: you are not behind. You are not late. You are not broken. You are being prepared for something that's been tailor-made for your soul's expansion. And when it arrives, you will see why the waiting was necessary. You will see why the setbacks were actually sacred detours. You will see why nothing, and I mean nothing, was ever wasted. This is your time to embrace the frequency of divine fulfillment, not because everything outside looks perfect, but because everything inside you finally feels ready. Ready to receive. Ready to rest. Ready to lead. And most importantly, ready to stop apologizing for your glow. So I invite you now, beautiful soul, to anchor this moment. In the comments, type, Sparkles 77, I am the one who has won the jackpot. And if you feel called, speak your truth out loud. Memo: I am ready to live as a millionaire of light. I am abundant. I am chosen. I am safe to receive. Let this be your declaration. Let this be your energetic signature on the new contract the universe is offering you, one that comes with peace, overflow, and legacy. And please, if this message touched something inside you, don't forget to support this journey we're on together. Hit that subscribe button to Zodiac Whisper Tarot so you never miss the whispers of abundance that are always trying to find you. You're not just watching a video. You're participating in a spiritual transaction. You're saying yes to a better chapter, a freer chapter, a chapter where your worth is no longer negotiated, it is honored, every day. You're not asking anymore. You're receiving. So take a deep breath, and whisper to yourself, I am calm. I am generous. I am home.